Now we're going to be joined by Barbara from the local bank, giving us a very interesting case study talking about how testimonials and sponsorships are impacting their communications efforts. So evaluation testimonies are a whole different area of understanding the depth and using that data. So I think we are all very much looking forward to this. So Barbara, I'll please welcome you to the stage.
Thanks. Thank you. Thanks for having me today. My name is Barbara Bleier-Serenci, and I'm head of marketing at the Volksbank in Vienna. So I'm responsible for the marketing strategy, the brand management, social media, as well as advertising for the brand Volksbank in Austria. To give you some key facts about the association of Volksbanks. So there are 9 primary banks, and together they are the association of Volksbanks. These primary banks, they work regional, they have no foreign shareholders, and they only work on Austrian national markets. So our business strategy is based on a combination of regional customer service know-how as well as the central organization, which is the Volksbank Wien. We have the 9 primary banks who have 243 bank branches and over 3,100 employees. So before I go into details, I want to show you a movie about the work with our testimonials.
Vertrauen kriegt man nicht von heute auf morgen, sondern den muss man sich erarbeiten, und ich glaube, das hat die Volksbank gemacht.
Es war sehr schön, wir sehen uns beim nächsten Hügel, sagen wir und die Volksbank mit V wie Flügel.
Wir haben 2 Ski, das sind unsere Flügel. Manchmal fühlt es sich schon so an, als wir ein paar Flügel wachsen würden. Was ich sehr schätze an Ihnen, dass ich regelmäßig mit Männern versorgt werde. Das, was mich am meisten stört an ihm, dass er ein FC Bayern Toiletttaschel hat. Wir sind beide Soldaten, 5 Minuten vor der Zeit. Ist die Soldatenpünktlichkeit.
Ja, ich glaube, prinzipiell sind alle meine Tätowierungen für mich was Besonderes, weil grundlos sich zustechen, das mache ich eigentlich nicht, sondern es hat eigentlich jedes seinen Wert für mich. Eine davon ist die WM-Medaille von 2013, und ja, das war natürlich einer der schönsten Tage meines Lebens bisher.
Manuel Fettner.
Was Unglaubliches, was da passiert ist, ich meine, das kann man nicht planen.
Und das hat er auch richtig gemacht. Ja. Nein, kein Sturz, kein Sturz!
Der Teamgeist ist extrem wichtig. Wir haben einen super Teamgeist, und das ist eine coole Sache.
Absolut notwendig.
Kann man gar nicht genug davon haben.
Wir sind so langweilig. Ich dann jeden Tag nur arbeiten.
Nichts, was ich sagen dürfte.
Ja, da gab es auch ein paar.
Gibt einen Haufen, aber nichts Näheres.
Weekly Markable.
Bank, ja, ich hoffe, dass da einmal sehr, sehr viel Geld liegt von mir.
Chiara und der schaut ja die und nicht mich. Der schaut mit dem Auge in die Richtung, mit dem Auge da.
Das machen wir jetzt genauso noch einmal mit dir in der Mitte mit der Karte und dann haben wir
so ein Leserblatt reinschauen.
Dann haben wir es.
Da nimm die Millionen und gib mir.
Mit Wort Vertrauen verbinde ich, dass ich über das Jahr. Das rede ich halt. Ich bin nicht mehr gewohnt zu reden.
Entschuldigung, was hast du gemeint? Klar? Ja. Genau, freundlich, ja. Sehr schön, Daniela.
Okay.
So, you can see we're having lots of fun while producing our new campaigns when you see the takeouts at the end of the movie. So the Volksbank works with the Austrian national ski jumping team as testimonials. As you can see on this slide, on the left-hand side, we have the women. Sarah Marita Kramer, the one in the middle, she won the FIS Ski Jumping World Cup this year. And on the right-hand side, you see the men's team who won the Olympic gold medal this year in Beijing. And Manuel Fettner, one of them, he won the silver medal in the single jumps. Furthermore, we have some athletes who were previously in the Austrian national ski jumping team. This is Thomas Morgenstern. He's 3 times gold Olympic medalist, and today he's a helicopter pilot and as well as a testimonial of Red Bull, which we have a good partnership with. Then we have Andreas Goldberger. He was the first person who jumped over 200 meters. And he has about 20 World Cup victories. And after his career, he wanted to help children to begin the ski jumping, so he founded the Goldie Cup. And then on the third, we have Martin Koch, who was really good in ski flying and has many gold medals in that one. He is, as well as Andreas Goldberger, today a TV commentator for ski jumping. So why do we work with testimonials? We think that testimonials build trust and brand awareness. They give your brand a positive image transfer, and they can give you more impact than influencers. They connect with consumers emotionally, and they can improve your return on investment for your brand. So we did the evaluation of testimonial recently in March 2022, so it's only 2 months ago. But why did we do this study? So on the one hand, we tested the brand position. So we wanted to know if our testimonials send awareness and they send a positive image for our brand. On the second hand, we wanted to know if the content versus the testimonial fit. So if we use a testimonial for our product or to get a target group, is it the right way or the right marketing strategy we use? So we did our study together with Observer and had a sample of 1,000 interviews. We used as a subject employees aged 16 and older that represent the Austrian population. And it was an online survey. The research design we used was best to trust. Best to trust summarizes 4 dimensions of trustworthiness in a holistic trust index. It is to compare brands, institutions, individuals with each other. And it finds out with strengths and weaknesses exist in the 4 dimensions. So what are the 4 dimensions we wanted to recall? General brand trust, brand proximity, advocacy, and the relevant set. I picked out some research results which I think are the most important ones. Here you see the aided awareness of selected banks. So we're on the 2nd place because Raiffeisenbank and Erste Bank Sparkassen are ex aequo in the 1st place. But for that you have to know that Raiffeisenbank has a market share of about 30%, Erste Bank Sparkassen about 20%, and we have 6%. So for us, the 2nd place is really, really good. Then, regarding the brand position, we have the aided awareness of selected athletes. You see all the dark blue bars are Volksbank testimonials. Andreas Goldberger is, as mentioned before, one of the best ski jumpers we ever had. And for explanation, on the 1st place, the Hermann Mayer, maybe some of you might know him. He was a ski racer and he was a former testimonial for the Raiffeisenbank. And Dominik Thiem is a current testimonial for the Bank Austria Unicredit. And next, we judge the sympathy for selected athletes. And here is really surprisingly that the women are the leader compared to the awareness we had before. But if you look on the right-hand side and you go down the orange colors, then you can see we had before Andreas Goldberger, Thomas Morgenstern, Martin Koch, they really have high awareness. But you have to be aware of the more popular your testimonials are, the more critical gets the audience. So you can see it on social media when you have engagement or you have some comments. Like at the moment we have a campaign with Andreas Goldberger regarding our housing loans, and then you get like comments like, he gets older, or he gets some wrinkles because he looks really boyish. So there are even more comments the more popular the people are. So you just have to deal with that in your social media work. Luckily, all of our testimonials were judged with a good competence for financial matters, so we were happy with that. And then the competence for online banking. So what I'm reading out of that chart is really positive for our strategy that we use at the moment. We take, for example, Andreas Goldberger, who is here on the bottom line for online banking. We use him for personal contact with the clients, then for housing loans, and not for digital banking. So this result confirmed our strategy we're using at the moment. And Stefan Kraft and Martin Koch, we use them for modern connection to your bank and for online banking. Then, regarding the appreciation of the Volksbank sports sponsoring, we have attachment of 57%. To our sports sponsoring, but the most important thing is that 75% of our clients were happy with our sports sponsoring, and it's even more than the appreciation of the 57% in total. Then, for us, interesting, the appreciation of members of sports clubs and followers of sports in media was really, really high. And even more, that the female attachment to the sports sponsoring of Volksbank is higher than men. So that might be because 3 years ago we started to include our women's into our campaigns. So it's my personal conclusion. I think that now we have both teams together, the women and the men. So maybe this is why more women attach now to our sports sponsoring. And before that, we only had one really good women's ski jumper in Austria, and now there's a team, and they're really successful together. So what is the conclusion outcome for us as the Volksbank? So for us, this result shows a highly memorable impact regarding sports sponsoring. We use the testimonials who show high awareness, like Stefan Kraft, and he is really reliable to our connection. And he is at the moment one of the best ski jumpers in Austria and in the world. Then our strategy confirms the use of our testimonials, like Andreas Goldberger, that we use him for the personal customer service and for the housing loan campaigns and products that fit to him. And then the high level of attachment to the Volksbank sports sponsoring by members of sports clubs or followers of sports in media, especially the part with the women. That's for us a really interesting and good outcome, so that we can work with that and include even more in our strategy. Yeah, so thank you.
Barbara, thank you so much. This is such an interesting topic for so many here because, you know, when we talk about internal comms and
Thanks.
When we talk about internal comms and PR in so many cases, there is this sense that, oh, marketing has it so easy. They have these bigger budgets. They have access to so much more information. This looks like a pretty intensive research that you're doing here that didn't just, you know, fall off the data truck to be able to make it easy for you. How did you all scope this to be able to then demonstrate the effectiveness?
What do you mean exactly with scope?
So when you were trying to identify like the athletes that you were working with and how you were going to use these testimonials specifically.
After or before the research?
Both.
Both. Yeah, so the research confirms even more our strategy we're using. So we having the ski jumping team since 15 years, and we follow like a strict strategy since then, and we monitor everything we do. So it's not easier because you have to monitor every campaign, you have to do research every year because you have to fight for the marketing budget. So it's not that easy as it seems, and you have to measure the return on investment. So for our ongoing work, this is a really good status quo to know, okay, where are we, and that our strategy as we have it now and our campaigns and how we use our testimonials is good or very good. And some little things we can always go furthermore or turn a little bit so that we can even get better and better and better. There's always some small things you can improve.
Absolutely. Has there been anything that surprised you in the data that you've seen?
Yes, especially the part with the women who had a higher attachment. So that I think, so my conclusion is that that we have now the women's team in our campaigns, and they are really good and successful. So that's my conclusion, and I think we have to go more in detail and check what's here the part that made this female more attracted to the sports sponsoring. So yeah, that point is one I want to go deeper into.
Yeah, I think that's so fascinating because when you look at this, especially during this time when you're doing this research, we're thinking about all of these other external factors and changes that people are going through. And so to see how that shifts, it's so interesting. And I hope you know, I absolutely talked about your marketing budget tongue in cheek, but there is this perception, right, of, oh, it's so easy for them. No, this is a lot of work that goes into this and, you know, doing that testing of messaging. At the bank, how do you work with the internal comms teams to coordinate that and to make sure that you have kind of a similar message? Is that something that you're doing already?
So we are one department with two different teams. So we have the communication and the marketing together, which makes it much more easier. And you have to do the employer branding and the communication and the marketing as well with your employees in the company, as well as the audience and the publicity outside. So it has to fit together to have one good message.
Well, and it sounds like you're hitting all the right spots because that integration is really where the magic happens, right? So you have that efficiency, you can be more nimble, and you can, when you find those messages that are working, be able to respond and to react to those so much faster. I think we have time for one question from the audience.
Yes.
Yes. Giles Palmer from Cision joining us for a question.
Thank you so much. That was super interesting. I've not really heard people talk about sponsorship in such a, you know, detailed way. But one of the things that kind of came up for me when you were going through your evaluation was there were no sort of monetary numbers in there in terms of ROI. I know it's very, very hard, but do you make any attempt to put some kind of return on investment calculation together?
So you want to know what ROI we have at the moment?
Yeah, and how does that compare with how do you report on that internally, and does that work for you?
So we have a yearly measurement for the return on investment for the whole sponsorships we have. So if you want to have a detailed number, normally the return on investment is about 5 or 6. Regarding that kind of sponsorships, and we're double or more. So we have really good numbers.
And how do you?
I can't tell you exactly what.
I don't worry. I don't know. It's not so much about the number. It's more about how you calculate it, because that seems to me there's going to be a bunch of assumptions in there, right?
Yeah.
Can you say anything about that?
So the exact calculation, how you calculate, there is a special agency, and they are responsible for the calculation. So there are many factors coming together, like your logo on TV and the time, how long you have seen it, and so there are many studies behind that to put it together then to the return on investment.
Thank you.
Yeah, it sounds like a great proprietary methodology that
yes.
We would all love access to at some given time. But Barbara, thank you so much. That was amazing. And I know that is going to be one that gets a lot of on-demand views as well, because being able to see that detail and to see everything that goes into that for you and your team is really amazing. So thank you so much for coming in, for sharing with us. It was fantastic.
You're welcome.
So much,
Thanks for having me. Thanks.
Yeah.